The story begins in 2006 with 15-year-old Anita trying to set up a photoblog account on her computer. Meanwhile, her older sister, Louisa, is behind the door yelling at her to hurry up or they will be late for their first day of school. But Anita ignores her sister and continues doing her thing. Tired of all her sister's screams, she states that she can't wait to be an adult. She then successfully creates her photoblog account and uploads her first picture to it. The scene then shifts to the year 2021, when Anita is now 30 years old. She lives in a rundown apartment and has achieved nothing significant in her life thus far. Her love life appears to be in shambles as well, and she spends the majority of her time alone with her cat. Suddenly, her phone rings and her mother reminds her that she has a flight back to her hometown to attend her sister Louisa's wedding with her long-term boyfriend, Douglas. It is traumatizing for Anita to even think about going back and facing all those people in her hometown. But since she has no other option, she boards her flight and travels there. Upon arriving at the wedding, Anita feels completely out of place, but she keeps telling herself that the charade will end soon and she will be able to return to her safe place. Her sister Louisa mocks her for wearing her old prom gown and makes her feel awful about her single life. Anita also encounters her high school bullies who torment and mock her. But then her old best friend Enrique appears and rescues her from the bullies. Anita is overjoyed to see him and seems to have a crush on him. The two begin catching up, but when Enrique asks about her life in the city, she becomes embarrassed and heads to the restroom. Moments after, Anita meets her cousin Carol and discovers that she is not doing well. She had always aspired to be an Olympic champion, but because of her husband Eduardo, she has given up on her goals. She seems to have no say or vote in the relationship, which makes her life a living misery. Later in the bathroom, Anita discovers Eduardo making out with another woman. Seeing this, Anita loses her cool and begins yelling at him. This draws a lot of attention, and she tells Carol what a jerk her husband is. Eduardo, on the other hand, tries to justify himself by claiming that Anita was trying to make a move on him. Due to the commotion, Louisa becomes enraged since it is her special day, and she accuses Anita of being an attention seeker who can't even control her impulses for one day. Feeling hurt and humiliated, Anita rushes to her old room and collapses on her bed. She then dwells on her teenage years and wishes she could go back to 15 and change her life. She opens her old computer and recalls that when she was 15, she created an account on Photoblog. Surprisingly, she still knows her password after 15 years. And looking at old photos makes her nostalgic. All of a sudden, the power buzzes loudly, and Anita is transported to 2006 when she's 15 years old. She initially believes it's a dream, but quickly realizes it's happening in real life. She realizes that despite her age of 15, she feels mature on the inside and can think and feel like a 30-year-old. She decides that she will make use of this opportunity to make things right, as life has given her a second chance. She realizes her father is still alive and runs to meet him, but unfortunately, he departs for his trip before she can even approach him. Afterward, Anita, Enrique, and Carol attend their first day of high school, and they're afraid of being bullied by seniors. Anita knows what's going to happen this time, so she hides in the library with Enrique. Meanwhile, Carol is saved by Eduardo, who is just interested in hooking up with her. From their interaction, we see that Enrique has a crush on Anita, but he is too nervous to ask her out, and she is also unaware of his feelings. Soon after, they meet a gay boy named Caesar in the library. They instantly become friends, and Caesar admits that despite being a senior, he needs to hide from bullies every day because he's different. Sometime later, they think the bullies have left and arrive outdoors. Soon, the trio of boys, Eduardo, Fabricio, and Joel, make a circle of shame and start to humiliate them. Eduardo is the worst of them all, while Joel is simply being dragged by his horrible friends. However, this time, Anita does not let them bully her and humiliates them one by one while also claiming how awful their lives will turn out to be in the future. Everyone witnessing this is taken aback since they did not anticipate Anita to retaliate in such an aggressive manner. After school, Anita spends time with her new friend Caesar, and the two get piercings and take pictures. When she gets home, she uploads the picture to her Photoblog account, but suddenly she finds herself in 2021. Grown-up Anita notices that her ears are still pierced and realizes her roommate is a girl named Camilla who used to be Caesar. It appears that a small change in the past has altered many things in the future. Later, Anita runs across one of her past bullies, Joel, who is now their new neighbor. He recalls how Anita insulted him in school and tells her that due to her, he is now doing well in life. Later, Camilla informs her that she has received an Instagram follow request from a guy named Leonard, whom she had a huge crush on in high school. But she says that she has shed enough tears for him in her life and thus declines his request. Meanwhile, Anita is overjoyed with her new life because she looks to be doing much better in it, and her apartment is also lovely. She then returns to Photoblog to see what she's done in the past, but she's suddenly transported back to 2006. Anita realizes that the Photoblog works as a portal for time travel, and she decides to use it for good. She then plans to separate Carol from Eduardo because he will only make her life miserable in the future. In 2006, Carol and Eduardo are about to go on a date, but Anita convinces her that he's a bad person and a cheater. But Carol, who is in love, does not believe her and considers Eduardo to be a good guy. So, Anita approaches Caesar's older brother, Fabricio, and asks for his help in rescuing her cousin from Eduardo. Fabricio is Eduardo's close friend, so he's aware of many of his wrongdoings and can help Anita in exposing him. However, Fabricio has feelings for Anita's sister, Luisa, and agrees to help her only on the condition that she set him up with Luisa. After this, Fabricio introduces Eduardo to another girl and arranges a date for them. He then informs Anita of their date time and place so that Carol can go there. Carol, on the other hand, is very excited about her date, and Anita helps her in getting ready and sends her to Eduardo's location. When Anita arrives there, she catches Eduardo kissing another girl, which devastates her. She then begins crying in the middle of the road, and suddenly a car approaches and hits her, causing an accident. Due to this incident, Carol's arm is fractured, and she's crushed to learn that she will miss the championship handball game due to injury. Enrique and Anita arrive at the hospital to comfort her during this difficult situation. Carol then asks Anita how she knew Eduardo would cheat, but Anita replies she just guessed it since he's a terrible person. Later, Anita meets Fabricio and asks him to keep quiet about their role in Carol's accident. However, he begins blackmailing her and wants her to set him up with her sister. Anita is worried about how she can convince Luisa to date him because she's already dating Douglas, whom she will marry in the future. Later, we see her trying to convince her sister to date Fabricio during a truth or dare game. Although Luisa likes Fabricio as well, she refuses as she's already dating someone else. Meanwhile, Eduardo is with his other girlfriend when Joel approaches them and informs the girl that he's also dating Carol, and seeing them together caused her an accident. He also informs her that Fabricio and Anita are responsible for all of this havoc. Hearing this, Eduardo's girlfriend becomes outraged and discloses their plan to the entire school, and word soon reaches Carol. Then, everyone in the school starts blaming Anita for Carol's accident and calling her a bad person. Anita then feels ashamed of herself and goes to her secret hideout. A while later, Enrique approaches Anita and tries to confess his feelings to her. However, she ignores his hints and admits that she's responsible for Carol's accident. Hearing this, Enrique feels disappointed in her and walks away. After this, Anita meets Caesar and his friend Leonard for lunch. She recalls adult Camilla telling her about her crush on Leonard. To help Caesar, she discloses his crush on Leonard and urges them to be together. When Leonard hears this, he gets angry and claims that he is not gay. He believes Caesar asked Anita to say this, so he ends his friendship with Caesar and walks away. Caesar is now angry with Anita because she caused him to lose his best friend. On the other hand, Carol is also upset and annoyed at Anita for interfering in her personal life. Enrique then pays her a visit to the hospital to comfort her, and the two share a sweet moment. After a while, Fabricio tells Anita that he adores Luisa and only wants to make her happy. Anita understands this, and she apologizes to him for failing to convince her sister. Just then, Luisa and her mother arrive, and Fabricio leaves. Inside, the family starts planning Luisa's 17th birthday party. Luisa has also bought Anita a dress and asks her to try it on. Anita then puts on the dress and opens her photo blog, after which she again arrives in the future. In the present, Anita discovers that she no longer lives with Camilla due to her actions in the past. However, she is shocked to learn that she is in a relationship with Joel. She also learns that Carol and Enrique got married 5 years ago, and she was the maid of honor. Anita feels terrible after hearing this and realizes she has feelings for Enrique. Joel then tries to kiss her, but she refuses, causing him to become upset and flee. After that, Anita recalls the past and realizes what Enrique was trying to tell her back then. She regrets not noticing his feelings sooner, but she also does not want Carol's happiness to be ruined. Anita is unhappy with her new present and goes to Photoblog, where she travels back in time. In 2006, Anita is overjoyed that her father has returned from his trip. Because he will pass away soon, she gets overwhelmed with emotion and hugs him. Later, the two spend time together, and Anita tells him that she tried to help her friends, but it all went wrong, and no one is talking to her anymore. Her father then suggests her not to try to fix people as if they were objects, so she must be concerned with what she wants and how she can improve herself. Hearing this, Anita decides she will no longer try to improve anyone's life, and instead asks her friends for forgiveness. The following morning, Anita approaches Enrique and the two go to a church to visit Carol. Carol is still angry with her, but Anita apologizes and admits that she went too far this time. Carol also realizes Eduardo is not a good guy for her, so she forgives Anita. Enrique then starts singing a song to lift up their moods. Anita looks at him and realizes she's fallen in love with him. However, she notices Carol looking at him in the same way, and knowing that they will get married in the future, she decides to hold back her feelings. After that, the three of them go to see Caesar to talk with him. Caesar's father informs him that he's very upset and has not left his room in several days. Anita then apologizes to him, stating she didn't mean to hurt him, and Enrique and Carol also urge him to let things go. Following that, they all go to Leonard's house to settle their differences. However, he is quite harsh to them and declares that he does not want to be friends with them again. Turns out Leonardo likes Caesar as well, but he's too scared to admit it. Anita then advises him not to suppress his true nature or he will regret his entire life. Caesar also realizes that Leonard is not a good person and decides to let him go. The four of them then leave the place and exchange a group hug. On the other hand, Luisa is getting nervous as she prepares for her 17th birthday celebration. She seeks help from her boyfriend Douglas, but he is too busy with video games to listen to her. Luisa feels lonely and afterwards shares this with Anita. She claims to be burdened by the pressure to be perfect all of the time. Douglas comes from the wealthiest family in town, and Luisa's mother is overjoyed that she's dating him. Luisa likes Douglas as a person, but she realizes she can't spend her entire life with him. She feels imprisoned in the relationship, but she's afraid of disappointing her mother if she breaks up with him. Anita then advises her to think about what she wants in life and to surround herself with people who actually care about her. After this conversation, Luisa sits and thinks about Fabricio, whom she also likes. So she decides to call him and asks him out on a date. Later that night, she sees Fabricio, who is looking very happy to be on a date with her. She tells him that she feels trapped in this place and wants to leave. She further says that the pressure to always be the perfect girl has smothered her, and he asks her to let go. The two then kiss each other and end up spending the night together. On the other hand, Joel texts Anita as he started to like her. He tells her that she was correct about Eduardo being a bully and a brat, and that he has stopped hanging out with him. Anita is also eager to chat with him because she thinks he's funny and nice. Joel is astounded by how she knows everything ahead of time and jokingly asks if she time travels. Anita, on the other hand, becomes extremely paranoid, assuming that Joel might have actually discovered her secret.